Yep. Ding, ding, let's go. So before I started this, I was reflecting, because it's been a couple of days, who knows, since I did the last video, and I'm thinking, I've changed since the last videos, and not necessarily better, because there's so many angles to approach life. So maybe a few days ago, a few weeks ago, a few months ago, it was still high value stuff. It was still, diving deep, but in a different way. So it's really cool how we, as humans, are like that, or can be like that, where we're approaching something from a different angle because of recent life experiences that we've had. And it can be something as simple as watching a really impactful video from a channel, from a content creator. It provides a arguably necessary shift in our being, where we're like, I was living this way, I was thinking this way, I was feeling this way before this video, before this book, before this whatever, and now I want to do differently. I want to think differently. I want to feel differently. I want to be different. So that's what's really cool. One of the many things that's really cool about co-creation, if we're open to it, right? If we're receptive to it. If you're the type of person that thinks that, all right, I've got enough figured out, I'm living my life, I'm doing it, like everything else is just comfort, entertainment, and paying bills, right? Not to say that having stability isn't good. It, for the most part, essentially is very good. And they are means for celebration. Like if you have the food, water, shelter, air quality stuff, like money stuff, if you've got that figured out, like, celebrate. And then celebrate some more. And then rest and wake up and start celebrating again. But my content is for people who, regardless of their level of stability in the physical, we're looking for core, metaphysical core stability at the heart and soul level. Because if you haven't experienced it already, or if you're not in essentially a state of being where peace and the feeling and knowledge of this metaphysical, existential safety is within you, to not be there all the time, or to not really have experienced that yet, that's neither here nor there, because essentially the purpose of my content is to have these reflections, recollections, these verbal kind of lowdowns, rundowns, right? Where this is how to live a life. Whether it be you understanding this, hearing this for the first time, or just knowing this already and these are just reminders. Like, that's my cosmic humble pride right there, where I'm just like, I get to do this. It's not, I have to do this. Like, I get to do this. I, you, we are alive. Yeah, that's obvious, but just like feel into that. And then thoughts may come up where it's like, yeah, well, I gotta do this, I gotta go to work, yeah, relationship, family, friends, or lack thereof, or money, or lack thereof, yeah, but this, yeah, but that. It's like, I'm trying to get you to remember that life doesn't have to be anything in particular. It makes me think of the prime fear, seemingly, the prime fear of people, on a societal level is, being shunned and or becoming homeless and things like that. Well, I'm speaking from a level of heart and soul where I'm saying if those types of things happen and you are just really, really solid in your heart and soul and your willingness, ability, confidence to make things happen regardless, to be solid and caring in yourself regardless, okay, bring on the shuns, bring on the homelessness. Yeah, it's gonna get tough, perhaps temporarily, and it sounds crazy, I know, but let's just say that I haven't experienced explicit homelessness, but things like loneliness and being misunderstood beyond surface level stuff, that can feel like a form of inner homelessness, where you're like, where can I pitch a tent? Where can I set up shop in a world like this? Honestly. So, at the core of the I, this is beyond the physical stuff, at the core, the heart, the soul, the real I, we can get to a state, a beingness, where everything external, whether we value it as good, bad, helpful, hurtful, temporarily, things are going on, and to be solid in your core, your real I, things can just go on and you're mentally, emotionally neutral, just okay, this is happening, this is interesting, I'm gonna figure out where to act, how to act, or where and how to stay, where and how to leave. I'm gonna be strategic about it because I have the luxury of time and space, because I don't feel rushed, I don't feel included, I don't feel excluded, I don't feel separated, I feel like I am I in a world that is an extension of my of I-ness. Life is life, God is God, whatever other term you want to use. This is going on, and I'm going to act accordingly. I'm going to think and feel accordingly. I'm going to use my body accordingly. I have trust and faith, even if it seems like a shit show in the moment, or as I'm trying to work things out. I'm doing my best. My perception, my intuitive sensing of what best is. If it turns into a shit show, well, I did my best. I'm doing my best. So, shit show is just a label. I'm doing my best. We'll see what happens. This is all temporary in the now. Things are always shifting. Okay, ding ding, let's go. Right? It's that type of stuff. That core, stoic, confidence, just knowing this. Belief, trust, faith. Here I am. I'm going. I'm being. I'm breathing. Using my 6 senses. Yes, 6 senses. Sometimes things are hot. Sometimes things are cold. Physically, literally, or symbolically. I'm operating. I'm alive in life. Life is life. I am I. Let's go. Right? So, back to the supposed topic at hand, which is we're shifting. We're changing all the time. Not to say that we're always getting better, but we're always shifting gears, shifting angles. Imagine that you imagine a sphere, and right, you have more than 360 degrees, because that's 2-dimensional. This is 3 dimensions, right? 360 degrees on the XY, and then 360 on the Z axis. So all these angles of viewing alone, let alone the sphere navigating in 3D space, if not 4D space, right? Inner, outer, right? The implosion and the explosion in the 3D space. So, this is all analogous for our navigating in the world, where it's like, it doesn't have to be necessarily worse or better, higher or lower than the previous seconds or days or weeks. It can just be different angles. And then where we can say that things are getting better is how I like to explain, if the soul is this sphere, the clarifying and the expanding, right? Where it's like, if it's all mucked up, you're clarifying it so that it can see more, so that it can navigate easier, and then expanding in the sense of, if it's collecting, God/light/energy, right? The I, as a vessel to collect, interpret, utilize this light God energy. If you're not into this stuff, fair enough, but if you're living it, and if you know, then hell yeah, right? So clarifying and expanding the soul, right? Where it's, you're dusting off, you're wiping off, you're chipping away at the nonsense of the sphere of the soul. And then the more that it's able to be open in the light, it's more able to absorb said light, God, energy, right? And we're doing this, whether or not you recognize it yet or ever, that's your thing. But the more we clarify our soul vessel, the more the light is able to get in, get on, and thereby, like it's a plant, like it's a, like it's photosynthesis, we are expanding over time. The more we clarify, we expand. The more we expand, we have more surface area. So, in doing the numbers, with more surface area and the same amount of muck, the muck is diluted, so you're being more clarified anyway. Woo! So, us inevitably shifting, transcending, changing over time. That's us, right? And that's a really cool part. Whether or not we're doing it intentionally, consciously, it's happening. But like, if you want to do it more efficiently, more cleanly, then like add intention to it. Like, know what you want and carry it out. Like, straight up, know what you want, carry it out. It's gonna get messy. It's gonna get challenging. It's gonna get ridiculous. It's gonna get daunting. It's gonna get scary. Temporarily. And then it's gonna shift into something else. Right? Going for it is the move. Not going for it is succumbing to the demonic, the succumbing to giving in to your fears. It's like making you weaker, right? Like, you imagine someone that's more and more just like curled up into a ball, right? The more that you don't go for things, the more you're not just like open for challenge. Not necessarily ready, but just open for it. And just like, you may be kicking and screaming and crying all along the way, but like, if you're even facing in the direction, I swear, if you haven't experienced this already, it's amazing. Even if you're just facing in the direction, you're going to get pulled. And it may be kicking and screaming and scary and daunting and ridiculous, but like, if you're facing it, right? You hear that in shadow work. Just face it. Just coexist with the shadow, the dark aspects that are scary, that are seemingly going to attack you, but they're not. So, and in the physical, of course, you're going to be in situations where you feel that fight or flight. Like, do I stay? Do I fight? Do I leave? Do I fawn? Do I just like put up with it? And the individual, the you, the I, gets to make that decision. But all in all, what we get to do is participate in our own undoing. And that's scary at times, but our undoing is also our own clarifying and expanding at the heart and soul level. And my argument, my theory, my assertion is, what's better than that? Honestly, what's better than that? We'll leave it at that. Woo! All right, as I like to end the video with respects. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Much respect to you, much respect to me, much respect to this life and its ability to sustain us. Much respect to your ability to sustain yourself among the chaos, amongst the madness. But yeah, just the fact that all of these elements, the sun and all the elements on Earth are just like, even though it was a long time coming, we're at this point where it's like, look, humans can coexist with nature, and we don't have to like deforest like square hectacres, at a time. It's like, yeah, the population's ridiculous, the population size. There's a way to do it, and we're not going to solve it right here and right now, but the amount of change, the amount of balance within ourselves and within nature that we can enact, so be it, and much respect. This is Mr. Mike. Catch you later.